Salmon is something that has been part of my life from as far as I can remember. Salmon has been there every year of my life. And my name is Gudia. I was raised up with that name, and I live in Burwash Landing along Lluanman. There's stories about salmon. The young people need to be taught those stories and songs so that they have that same connection as well that our great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers had to that fish and that food.
I know when I was a kid that I remember being in the boat with my grandmother when she was running the net, and the salmon were bigger than me, and I was just terrified. My grandma was just this little woman pulling these huge salmon into the boat. We don't see that anymore. We don't see the salmon that size anymore. We don't see the numbers anymore.
I think this conference is a little different. We are really trying to be holistic. We're trying to touch on all the elements of salmon. Salmon are woven through all of our lives, through art, through song, through culture. There's science, there's traditional knowledge. So we're really trying to bring all those aspects into this. Look broadly at it, because I don't think it's going to be one stream that's going to have one solution. We really need to look at all the different aspects of salmon.
Like, I've always looked at fish as some of the most resilient and amazing creatures on Earth. Just through their lifestyle, they provide a lot for the natural environments that they exist in.
What's at stake here is the genetic diversity of the Yukon River Chinook and all of its tributaries and all of the communities that rely on it. And so what I see the nations with their projects is they're trying to plug the gaps. They're trying to fix the problems on a small scale where they can.
Well, this is the darn good start, getting people together. But also, I mean, at the end, what is the plan? What are we going to do together? I mean, there's each territory, there's different enhancement things that can be done. And we're not going to be able to do this without the Americans.
But we're also hearing a lot about the challenges that other First Nations are dealing with and how they're overcoming those challenges. Some of the most important stuff to learn about, right? Because we often operate in silos, kind of isolated from each other.
One of the things that I think is the next step is the First Nations, all the nations along the Yukon River coming together and talking and beginning this conversation on how we're going to work together to help save our salmon.
Yukon has a tremendous amount to offer in terms of things they do, things they've done, they've learned from, that can be shared with the rest of the people across the hemisphere, whether it's Indigenous peoples or fisheries managers or just trying to live in a community where you want to have Chinook.
You know, I see our philosophy as a philosophy that can really help save some of the crisis situations that we're in with overuse of certain habitats and with the killing off of certain species and stuff like that. Our philosophy is the philosophy that can help save those situations, but we're not looked at, we're not given that amount of credit, especially by people who make the decisions.
I'm hoping we will have fueled the fire in some people, in some organizations to really take the lead and really push and be bold. You know, it is a tough time for salmon right now, and we do need to be bold. We need to do whatever we can to keep these fish as part of our lives and keep them coming back.
Yeah, I would love to make sure that in my great-grandchildren's time that they have that food, that fish, and that they still have that care. But they realize it was our generation that put our foot down and did the work.